I've got Galen McHatton here from Studio 13 in the States. Galen, how did you get started in tattooing?
I looked around the town I lived in for 2+ years, getting told, we're not doing apprenticeships, we don't need anybody. And the person who turned me down the most is the guy that taught me to tattoo, which is my older brother. And I swear to God, for years, just like, no, I don't want to teach you. I don't want to teach you. What if I teach you wrong? And eventually, the shop owner, because I did a bunch of electrical work for them when they made the new shop, kind of forced him to apprentice me. And then probably 6 months into my apprenticeship, I met a guy named Kyle Cotterman, who's like a portrait artist. And I sat over his shoulder for like a weekend, and I did my first portrait, which is the Leonidas tattoo that I did. Put it on Ink Nation, got like #1 most popular tattoo, and it was weird for like probably 6 months after that, because it was like all of a sudden everyone in the tattoo world was like, oh, you're a tattoo artist. Everyone at the shop was like, you're our bitch, shut up. So, especially my brother, he's terrible about that.
Did your brother give you quite a hard time then with the apprenticeship?
Yeah, he gave me a hard time, but like at the same time, he's the one guy there I can rely on all the time. So it's kind of a give and take, I guess.
So what was Kyle doing at the shop at the time? He was just guesting.
Yeah, he came in with Justin Page for a guest spot, and I don't know, I probably annoyed him the entire weekend, just one question after another, hovered over him the whole weekend, and thank God I did.
So who would you say your influences are within the world of tattooing?
Originally, I'd say my big influences were like Jimmy Litwalk, Tony Savaro, guys like that. After I met Kyle, I got more into guys like Nico Hurtado, Mike DeVries, Mike DeMasi, and Josh Carlton, who, I don't know, I love the hell out of his work. So,
are people asking for different kinds of tattoos over in the UK compared to back home?
Not really. Like I'm booked out all day today doing like portrait style work, which is the kind of stuff I like to do. But I've had so many people coming up to me like, I just want like a tribal piece. I just want like some stars or a name, So it's kind of a mix, just like it is back home, I guess.
It's kind of strange, isn't it? You get people who really, really know what they want and what's possible, and other people who think they get tattooed almost for the sake of it. It's like they put no thought into it. Yeah, I'll have some tribal.
Yeah, I think because of what tattoos are now, a lot of people get them just for the coverage of it. But I think kind of like when I first got into tattooing, most of the public is like I was. Like I started looking at guys like Nick Baxter, I started looking at guys like Kyle, and I'm looking at tattoos like that going, I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know it was possible. I was doing just line work and colored in and trying to make it as smooth as I could. And then I saw that, and it was like, I don't think most people know that's even possible,
It's a huge leap, isn't it? You've got like the old school. I mean, neo-traditionals come on quite far, and but it's always going to be outline, block colour, whip shade. It's always going to be that, isn't it? But then you've got guys like, say, like Nick and Kyle, who just in the stratosphere, absolutely ridiculous.
They're definitely doing like the stuff that I guess is like propelling the industry forward these days. But I think that at the same time, traditional has come such a long way too, with guys like Timmy Nightmare. I've seen a lot of his work, and that guy's stuff, like, I'm not into traditional. I love that guy's work. I would get a traditional piece from him, and I think it's like the color's brighter, the stuff's more solid, it's smoother, the lines are cleaner, and it's funny to see like what tattooing was and what they've been able to make it into, It's like a legitimate art form these days.
Am I correct in thinking you work with Numas?
Yeah.
Big difference?
Yeah, I love them. Me and the shop owner, Zach Ross, both of us work in Numas. Nobody else at the shop does. They're not that fond of them. But it's kind of funny. I was talking to another artist about this earlier. Like, you start working with Numas, and so many people come over and they ask you about them, and the answer is like, okay, they're really lightweight. They're very maintenance-free. It takes my mind off the machine and into the tattoo. But you get so many people who come over and they're like, oh, do you feel like you're cheating, or like, is he better because of the machine? One just asked my fiance. We're sitting there, and they come up and go, so he's pretty good, huh? And she's like, he's not bad. And they're like, yeah, it's the Numas, right? Those do it? And it's like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, it's the Numas,
You can't draw it, but give him a Numa, and he can just tattoo like that.
I think a lot of artists buy Numas thinking that, too. But it's like, I think it's just a really good lightweight machine that you don't have to worry about, which in my mind is like exactly what a machine's supposed to be. I just wish I didn't have to have a compressor with them, you know.
Have you tried out the hybrid, the latest one?
I've seen the hybrid. My bro Ron from 570 Tattoos back in the States, he uses them. He said they're awesome, but he also uses the Hawk, which he's really fond of. And the Hyper, my boy Kool-Aid uses that, and he says that machine's just the bee's knees. So I guess it's kind of all a matter of preference, I guess.
We've noticed a lot of artists over here have moved over to rotary, especially the stigmas like the Hyper and the Bazaar and bits like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried out rotary?
I have a rotary that I use myself. It hits a little hard. I think it's really overpowered, but there's things it's good for. But I'm working with my dad back home on a design that's like roughly the size of a Numa, really lightweight, really low friction machine, but it runs off of a rotary motor. So it'll still have the give that a Numa has. It'll still have that lightweight, easy travelability, low maintenance because it's all oil impregnated metals, so it oils itself. But it'll be nice once I've got it done because then I can take that to shows and work with something that's the same size, but just bring a power supply, you know.
So no big hefty compressor.
Exactly.
Is there any big differences? Is this your first convention in the UK?
Yeah.
Have you noticed any major differences between the States and the UK for conventions?
The conventions are, it seems a little bigger here, a little busier than they are back in the States, but it's mostly just the friendliness of people. Like I was telling someone earlier that I'm going out and I'm talking to people. We were on the train and we didn't know where we were supposed to be headed to get to London. Some guy got off the train, took us to the platform we needed to be at and everything. Back in the States, you go to New York and you ask somebody where you need to be, and it's like, you need to get the fuck out of my face, I'm going to stab you kind of thing, you know? So it's a lot friendlier here, I think. So
That's good to hear. So you think you come back over again?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Any plans for the future you got coming up?
Right now, it's just I'm trying to work a lot on my art, trying to bring that up to par. I've got a website I run called Tattoo Bear. It's tattoobear.ning.com, and it's like a social networking MySpace kind of thing for tattoos. And through that company, I'm developing some inks that'll be more resistant to the sun, that'll be healthier and heal quicker because of the ingredients. We're working on lighter, faster machines that work better. We're working on machines that are more adjustable in terms of both the speed and the power being independently adjustable of one another. And we're working on some new tube, tip, and grip combos that are going to be a little more ergonomic and with like some materials that haven't been used yet that I think will work a little better for what we're doing. So I don't know, just trying to give back to the tattoo community because they've given so much to me so far. So
Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.
Thank you very much.